Hello guys, Furball the Hammy here again. What should you focus on when you enter mid-game? Fun fact, it's not money or money-making methods. The majority of players have been crossing mid-game wrongly, and the reason is later on in the video that will be explained, but this video would tell you what you should be focusing on instead, and why rushing to mid-game is bad, and that most players are progressing into late game with under-leveled skills and minion slots, only to regret their decisions of rushing through mid-game. So first and foremost, I will be telling you guys about the 5 main priorities that you should be focusing on as soon as you reach mid-game, with priority 1 being the most important, going down the line to priority 2, priority 3, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's begin. So first and foremost, what is the priority that you want to focus on? Priority number 1 would be minion slots. Assuming that you are the average Skyblock player who is a casual and who can't spend 5 hours a day grinding and clicking like a no-lifer, having passive income is one of the most important things you want to work on. Thus, every player, yes, you, the person who is watching behind this screen, should get a minimum of 19 minion slots, nothing less than that. Now, the reason as to why going above 19 might not be necessary is due to the cost, because when you're under 19 minion slots, you only need 25 unique minions or less to get 1 new minion slot. Whereas to grind for 20 minion slots or higher, you would require 50 unique minions per extra minion slot. And since you are a mid-game player, it's kind of unreasonable to expect you guys to get 23 minion slots. However, it is still the most important aspect you want to focus on to expand your minion slots and to get more unique minions, because if you are a casual player who can't spend too much time online during the weekdays, having a strong passive income of 1 million coins a day, it is by far one of the best things to help you get out of mid-game, while also giving you a passive income as soon as you enter endgame or late game. So with that, let's move on to priority number 2, known as minion selection. Assuming you are done with priority number 1 and have attained 17 to 19 minion slots more or less, you probably want to stop using different minions to help get the materials to get more unique minions. Now is the time to choose your passive money making methods. I'll give you 2 main options today and state its pros and cons. The first option you have for your minions will be the clay minion, very generic but very good. The pros of it is the best of the best for income, unrivaled by any minion. However, the cons for the clay minions includes requiring a super compactor for every clay minion, because a clay minion without a super compactor is a travesty and should be punished with nothing less than the capital punishment of death. Why? Because having a clay minion without a super compactor is very bad. The clay minion will just fill up within 2 to 3 hours, and unless you can come online to Skyblock every 2 to 3 hours to clean up with clay minion, you are better off using a diamond minion. But actually, I'm not giving you guys the second option as a diamond minion. Diamond minions actually aren't that good. So basically, if the problem with clay minions is that it requires a lot of super compactors, which maybe a big game player might not be willing to drop like 5 million coins to get 19 super compactors, because as a mid game player, you probably don't have that large of disposable income lying around to invest in something like minions. So yeah, if you don't have that many super compactors, you may want to focus on option 2, also known as redstone or lapis minions. The pros of redstone or lapis minions is that they are the second and third minions best respectively for income, and they also don't require super compactors, only compactors and medium storages are needed. The cons for these minions would be that it is a lot harder to upgrade than clay minions, as clay 11 is a lot easier to upgrade than redstone and lapis 11. The second con will be that it requires the auction house, which means that it is inconsistent. Some days may be good, some days may be bad, because you will auction the enchanted redstone blocks and grand EXP bottles to the auction house, as compared to clay, whereby most of the time players just sell it to the merchant and get the coins. The last con I have for the Lapis or Redstone strategy is that it makes less money than Clay. And although compactors would work on these Redstone and Lapis minions, they are not long-term minions to be left unattended. They don't fill up as quickly as Clay minions, but they do fill up within 14 to 18 hours. So don't go on a holiday thinking that you will come back seeing your Lapis minions still unfilled. That's not gonna happen. If you put super compactors, they probably will be left unfilled. But compactors is not enough. But for your general daily to day use, when they come back home from school or work, you can generally use compactors on Clay. You can generally use compactors on Lapis and or Redstone minions, and you should be doing fine. So yeah, with that, I have given you guys the 2 options for your minion selection, and priority number 3 would be to level your skills. Now, you heard me right. You are probably wondering, why isn't the focus about money? The problem with mid-game and early game alike is that the time and effort you put in will not always give you the best results for money and income. Unlike late and end game, where your gear and time spent grinding will be handsomely rewarded by the economy known as the auction house. Thus, it is actually a lot better to work on your skills in this limbo period of time while your Clay minions do the work of coin collecting. Because when you do enter late or endgame, you will start to realize the importance of skills, but by then you will have to choose between spending your time making money or leveling skills. But since in the mid and early game, the time spent trying to make money wouldn't reward you as handsomely as late or endgame players, it is thus the perfect time to grind skills now, so as to prevent you to being stuck in the future to pick between skills, minion slots, or money. So, how high you want to level your skills and how equally you want to level your skills will be left up to you. But here are my recommendations. They will be Combat 25, Alchemy 20, Foraging 20, Fishing 20, and Enchanting 20. The main skills you want to level in the order of priority, with the first skill being the one of the most important skills and with the last skill being the most insignificant skills. Let's begin. The first priority you want to focus on is combat. The reason why you want to is because it is for dragons and slayers in the late game and end game. The second most important skill in my opinion would be farming, but it only applies to players who did spend the time and could spend the time to build a huge pumpkin farm from one border of their island to the other border of their island. If you do that, props to you. I don't have that patience. But if you do that, do consider upgrading your farming, because the higher your farming level, the more money you do get from farming pumpkins. So yeah, moving on. The third most important skill I think you should level up will be alchemy. The reason why? Because endgame players love having long duration potions. Whenever you enter endgame and you're doing dragons, zealots, or even slayers, you would generally want to have potions on you. For zealots, you probably want to have speed, adrenaline, and rabbit. And for slayers, you probably want magic find, critical, strength, as well as speed and maybe rabbit as well. And for dragons, you want critical, strength. But other than that, the reason why you want alchemy is because when late game rolls around and you start doing those late game methods, you will start using more and more potions, and it will be good to have a high alchemy level, as it allows you to brew potions that will help you. And in the long run, by giving you an additional 1 to 2 minutes on your potions, in the long run it will actually save you a lot of extra money and a lot of extra coins. And because of that, I recommend leveling alchemy. And moving on to the next skill will be foraging. The reason why I want you to level up foraging is similar to combat. It's the same reasoning as combat, but it gives less of a damage boost as compared to combat. But despite that, foraging still gives strength, and strength is still damage. Now, moving on to the lower tiers of importance will be fishing or enchanting. Now, whether you intend to level both or level one of them, here I'll tell you what you want to consider when leveling those skills. You want to level fishing if you do intend to fish for money in the future for Jerry events, since the Yeti drops do pay out quite a bit of cash. The thing is, you require fishing 25. So, if you want to fish during the Jerry event to get a Yeti to sell the drops, you might want to focus on fishing instead. However, you may want to focus on enchanting instead if you intend to work in the flipping market with enchantments on sword and etc. So if you intend to buy a clean aspect of the dragons, enchant it and sell it back on auction for 1 million more. If you think that you want to continue doing this enchanting business, you may want to consider upgrading your enchanting skill. And the last skill of the day will be mining. No one needs defense, and even 2 or 3 defense is insignificant. The extra ore drops aren't significant enough to justify grinding the skills. Moving on to the final priority, money making methods. Now, the reason as to why I place money so low is due to the fact that your time and effort would not equate to a lot of money this early on in the game. The things you do for money early on are generally basically working for the rich, be it clicking, cobblestone mining, or ender pearl spamming. The best mid-game money making methods are always methods which require you to perform a tedious service for the rich. And although the rich do pay you for your services, the rich still ultimately profit. And knowing how the rich became rich, do you really think that the rich people will give you the majority of their profits for your services? Probably not. And that's why I personally feel that it's a mistake to try to spend every ounce of time in the game to grind for money and to work for richer players. Granted, you do get money, but you are better off working on skills, minion slots, and minion leveling for clay minions early on, because late and endgame players make a lot more money per hour, and because of that, it is harder for them to decide to whether they want to choose to level skills, upgrade minion slots, or to grind for coins. Whereas on your side, since grinding for coins isn't that effective, you may want to it is a lot easier for you to consider to upgrade your skills or to upgrade your minions instead. And because of that, I feel that it is perfect for you guys to upgrade your minions, minion slots, and your skills early on, because you are not rewarded as handsomely as other endgame players when you do spend your time grinding for coins. And because of that, it is a lot more effective and time efficient for you guys to grind for skills and minion slots on top of that. However, that being said, if you want money making methods that badly, I've covered many of these money making methods in my previous videos, and if you really want them, I will put a link in my description, but it's genuinely not recommended to sink the majority of your time on just money to speed through late game. Ultimately, it is still your choice as to whether you want to speed through mid game and enter late game like everyone else. Granted, although you will be able to start working on late game money making methods earlier, but you will be losing out on passive income since you neglected to get more minion slots and you neglected to get clay minions up to tier 11. Or your redstone and lapis minions, and because of that, you will also be losing out on extra damage from skills since you neglected to level up skills, but instead you focus on clicking for the rich and to get more money from them. And eventually you will start to realize that you will lose the extra damage from skills, which are very useful in slayers or dragons for efficiency. And because of that, you will be stuck in an awkward spot whereby you have to choose between skills, minions, or money making methods, as compared to other players who grinded out their skills in the early and mid game and entered late game with properly leveled skills to ensure that they can fully make use of the late game money making methods with higher skills, damage efficiency, and even a higher passive income. And because of all those reasons, I believe that you guys should be focusing on leveling your skills and minion slots first before trying to get money. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Furball the Hemi signing out.